One night, Duck and Oliver were out shunting. It was cold, dark, and it looked like a storm was about to hit. Duck pulled up to Oliver. "You know, Oliver," said Duck, "I'm Great Western, and so am I." Oliver cut him off. Just then, James pulled up into the yard. "Would you like to hear a scary story on a scary day?" asked James. The two listened, and James began. A long time ago, there was an engine called 437, although he'd never got his own name. He was pulling passengers home after a long day. It was Christmas Eve. Up ahead, the bridge was flooding. No one noticed it. The driver and fireman couldn't see it, neither could 437. The flood was knocking supports out. A local passerby in a truck noticed this and decided to get out. He jumped onto the tracks, waving his arms with a torch in hand, trying to get the engine to at least slow down. When the engine came closer and closer, he jumped right out of the way. But he still had hope. He couldn't stop the train, though. "Maybe we should stop," said 437, but his driver refused. He thought the man was just crazy. So did the fireman. Then there was trouble. They noticed the bridge. The driver and fireman tried to brake as hard as they could, with 437 closing his eyes. They couldn't stop in time, it seemed, and they were right. As hard as they tried, the train would not slow down. They already knew it was doomed, but they tried anyways. Then, the engine plummeted off the hill. And that's the story of 437, aka the monster at Collins Creek. Duck looked puzzled. "The monster at Collins Creek?" he asked. He sighed. "Nah, James, I have a delivery at Collins Creek today. I'm gonna be worried about a ghost." "I know," said James, and he puffed away. Duck was making his delivery, but all he could think about was that monster at Collins Creek. He puffed up the hill. Then he saw it. It looked like an engine. He was so scared he raced down. Then there was trouble. Duck started racing out of control. He couldn't stop, even though his brakes were hard on. His wheels were melting his brakes. When he finally got down the hill, his driver knew what was about to happen. He saw a curve. The driver thought to himself, "We're gonna die on this curve." And he was almost right. Duck plummeted off the side. He stood there all night, thinking about what he saw. The next morning, the rescue train, pulled by James, came to carry him up. He could still remember that face, that train, the monster at Collins Creek.